The lien notice arrived on a Tuesday, taped crooked to my front door like a slap across the face. $42,000. That's what the HOA claimed I owed, or they'd take my house. My name is Joseph, and 6 months ago I didn't even know what a lien was. Now I knew every clause of our HOA bylaws better than the woman who wrote half of them. Let me back up, because you won't believe how a cracked flower pot started a war. I moved into Maple Ridge Estates last spring, a quiet Ohio subdivision with manicured lawns and painted mailboxes. Diane Whitfield ran the HOA board like a queen running a small, humorless kingdom. She smiled at block parties, then wrote violation letters the same night, postmarked before sunrise. My first ticket, grass half an inch too tall. I laughed. Then I paid the $50. Second ticket, my porch light bulb was the wrong shade of white. I wasn't laughing anymore. Neighbors whispered that Diane targeted people who didn't attend her mandatory community meetings. I'd missed one meeting for my daughter's dance recital. Big mistake, apparently, in Diane's kingdom. Fines piled up fast. Trash bins out an hour early. A clutter violation for my daughter's bicycle. 300, then 800. Then a threatening letter mentioning something called assessment lien rights. I called the HOA office. Diane's assistant, a nervous woman named Trish, wouldn't meet my eyes. She's very particular about compliance, Trish whispered, glancing at a closed office door behind her. That night, I started keeping a folder. Every letter, every photo, every date, every excuse. 2 weeks later, my fence, approved by the board in writing, was suddenly deemed a violation. I dug up the original approval email from 18 months prior. Diane had personally signed it. When I showed her the printout, she smiled and said the policy had since been updated. That's when I noticed something strange. 3 other new families had fences flagged that same week. All 3, I later learned, had recently voted against Diane's proposed dues increase at the meeting. Coincidence? I didn't think so. I started quietly interviewing my targeted neighbors, one by one. A retired veteran, Mr. Alvarez, showed me a lien threat over a wheelchair ramp violation. His ramp, for his war injury. Diane called it an unauthorized structural modification of his porch. I felt something shift in my chest. This wasn't about grass anymore. This was cruelty with paperwork. I filed a public records request for HOA financial statements, something bylaws guaranteed residents could access. Diane stalled for 3 weeks, citing administrative delays, which is not a real legal excuse. When the documents finally arrived, one line item stopped me cold. Landscaping Consulting D. Whitfield, LLC. Diane was paying herself, through her own shell company, using homeowner assessment fees.
$12,000.
My hands actually shook holding those pages. She wasn't just controlling. She was stealing from us. I brought the documents to Mr. Alvarez and 2 other targeted families. We hired an HOA attorney together. Meanwhile, Diane escalated. My debt ballooned with late fees, and the lien threat became formal. She sent a certified letter. Pay $42,000 within 30 days or face home foreclosure proceedings. Funny thing, the same week, her own front lawn had weeds taller than my daughter's bicycle. I photographed it, laughing despite everything. Even karma needs a little comic relief sometimes, right? Our attorney filed a countersuit. Breach of fiduciary duty, financial fraud, and selective code enforcement. We also reported the self-dealing contract to the State Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division. Diane tried damage control, mailing furious letters to county officials claiming residents were harassing the board. Those letters backfired spectacularly. Investigators cross-referenced her claims and found the falsified inspection reports. Turns out several violations, including mine, were logged on dates Diane wasn't even in town. Fabricated evidence. That single discovery collapsed her entire case at the emergency board hearing. The board voted her out unanimously that same night. The county then cited her own property for code violations. Weeks later, criminal fraud charges followed for embezzling HOA funds, and every resident's fines were reversed. I stood on my porch, lien lifted, watching a sheriff's car pull into Diane's driveway. Justice finally had knocked back.